All right, I got my 2005. She's clapped, she's ugly, but working on it. So lost an injector the other day. Figured I'd do a full set because Lord knows what was in them. So full set of dynamites, and did a fast as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and tear this stuff open. I'll show you what's in it. So on this truck, I did a kit from Diesel Power Products. It's, I guess not a kit, but like a package. So it comes with new crossover tubes, the fast itself, thing at F-bomb, and then the fuel bowl delete, all 6 injectors, and then this came with the Diesel Power Products. Got some injector protector with that, so I like the name of that a lot better than F-bomb. A lot more original, has that funness to it. So yeah, I mean, so we have fuel pump, filters, mounting bracket, the hose, all of the in-tank junk, and the wiring harness. It's really not as involved as it seems. Yep, so let's get into it. One more thing, trucks never blow up with empty tanks, apparently. So I gotta clean up the bed of the truck. I'm gonna lift the bed up because that's gonna be a lot easier, especially where I'm at, than dropping the tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bed cleaned out, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I got the bed cleaned out. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. So next thing I gotta do is I gotta come in here and let's see, let me get you guys a closer look here. So you see these little goobers right here, these little jobbers, I gotta pull them out so when I pick the bed up it doesn't rip through my bed. So I gotta take those out, and then I gotta undo the bed bolts, and then we're ready to lift up the front end enough so that I can do what I need to there. I think I need to drill a hole in it, and so on and so forth. They don't have printed instructions, but from what I remember with this kit, it's just punching a hole in it and then dropping one of these two through it, one of these guys right here, and then the elbows and the 90s, and yeah, so I mean it's not too bad. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that undone and catch back up with y'all in a second. All right, now we're ready to crawl underneath this old yunker and see what we need to do to pull those safety chain hooks off. So now that we got that stuff off, we're gonna go ahead, and I've got bed bolt here, there, one up here, and then one in the back. And I'll probably leave the back ones, I'm just gonna loosen them. I'm gonna leave them in though, that way the bed doesn't like shift this way or that way or whatever. But yeah, so I'm gonna take out those 6 bolts and loosen the back 2, and then we'll start trying to figure out how we're gonna lift up that bed. Haha, spare key. Time for another battery. Found the spare key. Yeah, that'll do her. After a face full of dirt and a few broken dreams, these bolts are not coming out of this bed. So I'm gonna go see if I can find someone with a tranny jack, and then we'll go from there. Since I'm waiting on a tranny jack, we're gonna go through and we're gonna kind of see what else I can do. So I could probably, I got the front bed bolt off, so I can go ahead and hang the pump. I can run the wiring harness. I can do all of that. Yeah, so we're gonna start off with this and the hose. So we're gonna route these two to where they need to go, and then get to work on hanging the pump. So I don't know if I caught all that, but yeah, hang the pump, because we got these two little gussets here. Can put the wiring harness in, we can put the hose in and run it to the back, and then yeah, so we'll hang up the pump, all of that, and then we'll get started on the rest of all of this, which will be dropping the tank once I find someone that has a tranny jack available that I can use. So how we're gonna do this is this end, hold on, give me a second, technical difficulties, but this end right here with the two wires goes into your engine bay. The easiest way to do it is to go underneath and feed this up, that I found. I mean, I know that there's probably another easier way, preferably on a shop would probably help, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna run this up to the battery, and then we'll check back in a second. All right, so I have my wires run up. This is the solenoid block. There's a fuse block. So I have that. I have it just laid on the ground right now because I'm still working on all that. But yeah, so run it back over here. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start hanging up the mount and put the filters on so it doesn't get filthy and all of that. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, these ones are really nice. They tell you which location they go. So this one goes here, this one goes here. And yeah, that's really about the gist of that. All right, so now that the pump is hung up and kind of chilling, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the fuel bowl delete. So I'm gonna take this piece out and this piece. Hold on. This piece right here goes in there. This is a product from Glacier Diesel Performance, and yeah, so it's just the two bolts that hold the filter block in, and then the return line from the back of the head, and then this is the return line from the relief valve, and so that goes in next. Alright, so we got the let's see, this is a better look. Yeah, we got the fuel bowl delete in. Very pretty piece in a very ugly engine bay. I don't know why it's leaking oil. I cannot get this valve cover to seal. But I got that piece in, and now we could probably go ahead and start routing up the fuel line. There we go. We can go ahead and start running the fuel line. On these barbed fittings, they just press right into the hose. No hose clamps, because these are ridiculously sharp. I don't know if you can see that. They are ridiculously sharp, and they will cut the hose. And then it'll shoot off, and then you're going to have a big mess. Kind of like I had whenever I just spilled my fuel bowl into my entire engine bay. So, yeah, no hose clamps at all. Another thing that's probably suggested, or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because, you know, trucks get dirty. You like to party, whatever. I would definitely suggest a little bit of electric tape over the other end that you're feeding through the truck, right here, just so that it doesn't pull in a bunch of crap and get all kind of goofy and crazy. So yeah, that is definitely another prevention that I would do. All right, so I already took the liberty of taking off the valve cover, because next thing we're going to do is the injectors, because I'm waiting on a sump to come in, because I, in my infinite wisdom, forgot to order it. So I'm going to wait for that to come in. Should be in hopefully tomorrow, and I'll get that all done. But yeah, so we're going to start getting all prepped up to pull the injectors out. So this has got to go, that's got to go, or not the plenum, but the lines, and the bridge as well. Gonna go ahead and get all that taken out, and we'll get on to the next thing. now I've gotten it down to here. We have all the retaining nuts off of the crossover tubes. And now I know that, like, they included this with that little kit, or that bundle, and it's just a connector tube remover for that crossover tube in here. But if you're not looking to buy it, or you don't have one on hand or something like that, let's see, I have somehow lost my 13. Where is she? Oh, that's right, it's on the ground. So come back after you pick up your wrench you dropped after pulling a retaining plate off the back that is woefully too tight. Sit right here for a second. Get you a good view of everything. But that remover tool is designed to just thread onto here and then pull it out. But I've posted this on my TikTok, but you drop a 13 back here and then just lean it back. And then they all just pop right out. Super smooth and easy. And you're not threading anything on, you're not prying with a screwdriver, any of that stuff. And they all pop off just that easy. Into the thick of it now. Injectors are all out, connecting tubes are all out, engine bay is filthy, and yeah, I do not suggest doing it this dirty. It's just I'm up against a deadline, so I have to kind of get her going. But anyway, yeah, so now we're gonna go ahead and I'll check each hole, make sure everything's clean. We've already kind of checked over each of the injectors. We have all of our copper washers. So all of our copper washers came out with the injectors, so we're good there. So now kind of take a light and look on in there and make sure everything looks pretty clean and decent, and honestly they don't look too bad. Yeah, so now time to start prepping the new injectors. Roadblock. I cannot get these things to pop in. We are actively trying. I do not know. I cannot get it to go in there. I'm gonna try a few more things, see what I can get done, and we'll check back. Figured out what was going on. The O-rings were just super stiff because it's kind of cold out here. So I took just push rod, I set it in there, and I gave it a light tap with a bolt, or not a ball-peen hammer, but a dead blow hammer, and that drove it in enough to where it went past it and then it pushed in easy. So good to go there. And then we'll wrap this up in the morning whenever it's warm and I'm not dying. It's been a couple of days. I had a job to do yesterday, but yeah, so we're back. We are live action on this whole mamma jamma. we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started on putting in the connecting tubes and all that sort of light. But yeah, here's how we sat when I wrapped up. Everything got covered, everything's all nice and pretty. Injectors are in and bolts are started. We have done a single torque sequence on them yet because we need to put in the connecting tubes still. And then once we get connecting tubes in, then we'll go through torquing these and these, and then we'll be on to the next part. So what happened with these injectors was one hung open, and I don't know why. Probably something just in the fuel system, something like that. So I'm gonna take the lines off, I'm gonna blow them out, because I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner. I'm just gonna do the best that I can for right now. I'm gonna probably pull one rail plug off the end, and just trying to clean the system, let it dry fully, and then I'll put it all back together and then slap it back in the truck. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. Put you back on time lapse. So we got connecting tubes in, we've got the injectors in. I'm gonna go grab my inch-pound torque wrench and we're gonna torque these. Yeah, I'll get back to you on the torque specs because I can't remember them off the top of my head, but we'll be right back at it. I had to go run to my dad's place to go pick up the torque wrench because mine doesn't have, I don't know, it just didn't work out. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna torque the injectors and the crossover tubes. So injectors go to 44 inch-pounds, then this goes to 11 foot-pounds, and then we go back over here and we do 89 inch-pounds, and then we do 37 foot-pounds. I'll probably just take this to 40, just to be on the safe side. Yep, that's pretty much the gist of it. Now it's just all over but the torquing. So back to time lapse for you, and away we go. Infinite wisdom, I forgot to pick up a 1/2" to 3/8 adapter so I could torque down my rocker arms. So I'm gonna pick that up tonight and then wrap that up in the morning. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in the rocker box and get all those bolts started, and I'll put in the injectors, or the wiring harnesses for the injectors, and I'll torque those down. They go to 11 inch-pounds. And then I'll put in the rail, put in the lines. That way that system's sealed up, so I don't have to worry about it getting dirty. And it's gonna be pretty much it for today, because I got another little job to do this afternoon, and I'm without one tool, so I'm gonna go pick one up this evening. And yeah, so put you back on a time lapse. You guys get to watch rocker box go in and all that. after, ready to get back into this. Go ahead and torque the rockers, torque the rocker box, and then we'll put the valve cover on for the final time. And yeah, we'll check back in. Okay. So I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but apparently you can't over tighten intake horns. So I'm gonna go see if I have a spare one, and we're gonna try to replace that. So here we have the patented two-piece design intake manifold. Garbage. But I've got a new one right there. So we're gonna get it cleaned up, throw it in, and send her home. So I got the intake horn in that is not accidentally modified. So yeah, we're done there. And that's pretty much a wrap for the engine bay. Still have to do those two wires. I mean, that's not rocket science, though. I'm pretty sure I can figure that one out pretty quick. And then getting on into the FAS, getting that all plugged and played, because it is plug and play. It's just a freaking nightmare. Just trying to get that pigtail in the top. I mean, it's no fault of anyone. It's just a suck location. So that'll be on tomorrow's thing, because got some stuff to do with the fan bam. So yeah, to be continued. that plugged in. I just got some time lapse of that. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get these done right here, and then plug in the fuse. We'll plug in the solenoid, and then we're pretty much ready for the sump. It's just waiting on that. We have the magic going on today. We're punching a hole in the bottom of the tank, finally. As you can tell, super windy. Sorry for the noise, apologize, it'll get better. But, so we have it tarped up on this side so the wind's not gonna blow. Benny's of the backyard mechanicking. And yeah, we have the ground kind of leveled out, and we're gonna mark our hole, punch it, and start draining this puppy. Well, time's come. Let's get to it, because it's leaking, and that's got to be at least $60 worth of fuel right there. So we're gonna get to moving on this. Okay, so we got it all cleaned up and all that. Now we're gonna put this little doodad in, and it's gonna go with this side in to accept any kind of lippage that might poke through the tank whenever you install it. So it runs up, and you kind of hook it in like this. Goes all the way up and in, like so. Let's see here. There we go. Ew. Stop that. That's not very nice. Okay. Something about akin to that. Should land it. Make sure we're gonna land it. Maybe. This is the fun part. It's this. This is where you get nasty. Your wife doesn't want to smell you anymore. She says you smell terrible. It's a process. Let me get our extendo Hobo Freight Allen wrenches here. Make sure you're not pinching that gasket. Make sure it's got a seat in there. And give her a good tighten. Make sure it is actually going to stab in there though. There she is. There's one. There's two. Yep. Then just, I mean, you don't got to get hog wild with these. You don't got to get tutti frutti with it, but you do want them snug. And there's that. I'm gonna go eat lunch. We got sump in, lunch has been eaten, and now we're gonna start running our hose. All right. So we've got to the engine. This is the air return, and then right here in the back, that's your feed. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the hose cut for the engine, and then we'll get to rolling on the rest of it. Here we go. We've got our hoses all run. Got all that. Now we're gonna start doing zip tying. That's what all this is. No, I'm not going for a new fashion trend or something of the sort, but you know, we'll throw it on time lapse and we'll get this all zip tied up so it stays nice and neat. Fun begins. The trying to get all this fuel from 5-gallon cans back into my fuel tank. We're gonna see how that goes. Finally gotten to the point where we get to test drive it and see if I screwed anything up. Only took you know, a week of forgetting stuff and breaking stuff and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go take it on a test drive and I'll let you guys know once I'm all said and done and all that, what the verdict is. That way I can use YouTube Magic and the rest of my credit to go ahead and try to make it work so that I can keep this going for the cloud. So yeah. Check back in. All right, so took the truck on a test drive. Sounds pretty decent. Still like a weird ticking I'm not a huge fan of. But like the fuel knock has gone away completely. That part's great. But yeah, I mean, who knows what it might be. We'll see. But I'm getting some cleanup wrapped up, but that is a wrap for this endeavor. And next is ball joints and track bar. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys do the thing, you know? Yeah. Talk to me in the comments about like what you think it might be on that ticking. I'll get some footage of it tomorrow, but it sounds like kind of, I don't know, kind of harsh, but not like super crazy. It's very interesting, very odd. Yep, it's like a lot of my relatives, but gotta love them anyway. All right, good job.